Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's weekly market update. We're going to take a look at what happened in 2018 and what we have to look forward to in 2019. So that and more coming up right next. I'm Ben Kay, the condo agent with McDonald Realty in downtown Vancouver, and 2018 was a very active year in terms of a lot of changes in the industry. Now, if you've been reading headlines in the last week or so, one of the things you'll see is that many headlines are saying that 2018 was the slowest year on record. But what does that actually mean? We're going to break that down. So if we have a look at our listing count or inventory count for the past 10 years, what we can see is that yes, we had a lower inventory count last year for listings. In fact, we saw 12,714 listings on the market. That is not the slowest year on the market, but it is definitely less than what the 10-year average is. The 10-year average currently sits at 17,000 properties listed during a typical year. So yes, we did see a below average year, as we did in the last 2 years before that. In fact, the year prior, 2017, saw a record, and since then we did see a 33% increase. So that can be seen as mounting inventory. However, one other way to look at that as well is perhaps we're just seeing a return to average, which could be a healthy thing for our market. Now, the flip side of that coin is if we look at sales activity. So if we look at the exact same data for sales for every given year in the past decade, what we can see is that in fact 2018 was a record low. We did see the lowest number of sales in the year of 2018. The last time we had a similar low was back in 2012, so quite a number of years ago. The typical cycle in the Vancouver market is about 5 to 7 years. So it very well could be that we are in the process of going through a cycle turnover. Now, two things that we noticed right away from looking at the sales data is that at the start of 2018, we were well above the 10-year average in terms of sales. We were coming down from higher sales activities in the 2 years prior, but we can see that we still entered the year in quite a heated market. And 2018 was a year where we saw the real estate frenzy cool down, went from being above average to below average in our sales figures. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. If you look at this, it is difficult to predict the future. What we can do is we can look at the past to see what similarities we might be able to reason. Now, if we look at the last time we saw a dip back in 2012 for sales, of course, up until just that point, no one would have known what would have followed suit after 2012, but we can see that the market did recover from the last low point, and markets being cyclical, you could expect a recovery at some point. It's just that we are currently seeing a lower turnover. That leads us to our next point. When we see a lower sales count, it does lead to lower turnover, what we call the absorption rate. Basically just a percentage of how much of what is coming on the market is selling. Now, anywhere from 12 to 20% is considered a balanced market. If we look at the real estate map across the Lower Mainland for December 2018, what we can see is that right across the board we are in a balanced market. New West, of course, is just on the cusp of being in a seller's market, but the rest of the Lower Mainland is seeing quite a balanced market. Some areas are closer towards the seller's market, perhaps because those have more affordable inventory and higher demand as a result. So predictions for 2019. If you are in a position to buy, this is a great time to buy. In fact, it's the best opportunity to buy that we have seen in the last 5 years because there is far more inventory, there's lower turnover, so you can have more choice and you can have less competition and a lot more leverage in a buyer's position when you are looking to purchase right now. Now, the caveat with that, of course, is you have to think long-term. If you're thinking of a short-term investment, this is not the time to buy because the market is volatile. It's too early for us to tell where it's going to head off after this point moving forward. But what we do expect in the industry as a general consensus is that in the mid to long range, we can expect the market to start seeing some growth again. So if you've been thinking of selling in the next couple of years, perhaps this is the time. You might not get the price you would have gotten a year or two ago, but you don't have to settle for what the price might be in a few months from now. If you have a property that you're holding on to and you're not in a position where you have to buy or sell or make any type of movement, then sit and wait and make sure you watch the market to see what trends are showing and where it's headed next. Now, if you have any questions about that, I'm here to assist, and I'd be more than happy to offer my advice. You can reach me by contacting me by sending a message right below. I think it's been a while since we've done a video, so I hope to gain your feedback from this, and we'll see you here next week. Take care.